In the harsh valley of Kurum, life was never easy. Tall, black mountains surrounded the valley like silent giants scold. Winds traveled down their slopes every morning and every night, but the orcs of Kurum had never feared harsh lands. They were strong, they were stubborn, and they survived where most others would fail for many generations. The valley had been filled with life children. Once ran through the dusty paths between stone houses. Their laughter echoed between the mountain walls. Young warriors trained with spears in the training fields. Farmers worked the soil while singing old tribal songs. Families gathered around fires after sunset and shared stories of battle and victory. Life had once been loud and joyful, but slowly something began to change. The first few years passed quietly. There were simply fewer newborn children than before. The healers noticed at first. They counted every birth and every season. Then another year passed and another. The cradles in the cradle house slowly became empty dust, gathered on their carved wooden sides. The little charms that once rang with movement now hung still. The valley that had once been filled with laughter began to feel quiet. The elders began holding longer meetings. They spoke of curses and angry spirits. To healers studied herbs and ancient remedies. Warriors simply watched the mountains in silence. Every orc understood the truth. A tribe without children slowly fades away. Among the people of Kurum lived a warrior named Grasha. Long ago, she had been the pride of the valley. Her strength had once been legendary. Her spear had struck down mountain wolves and iron tusk boars during a terrible winter raid. She had even helped drive away a rampaging stone troll. Stories of her courage were still told by the younger warriors, but time never forgets. Enya Negrasha hair had turned grey. Her once powerful steps had slowed slightly. Her muscles were still strong, but the seasons had clearly passed over her. The healers had examined her many times. During the long years when births were becoming rare each time, they gave the same answer: too old to carry new life. Grasha never argued with them. Orcs were warriors. They accepted truth even when it was harsh. Still, there were moments when she would walk slowly past the cradle house. She would stop outside its door. The wind would move the hanging charms, but no small voices came from instantly silence. Then, one evening, a stranger appeared on the mountain road. Human traveler. Humans were not common visitors in Kurum Valley. Most travelers feared the dangerous mountain passes. Others feared the reputation of the orcs themselves. But this man walked forward without hesitation. He carried a weathered pack and a long wooden staff. His boots were dusty from many roads. The guards at the gate watched him carefully. Humans were smaller than orcs, but their reputation was unusual. They were known for strange courage and strange ideas. The traveler stopped before the gate and raised both hands peacefully. Name is Arlen. I travel the world solving difficult problems. The guards exchanged confused looks. Problem solver was not a normal profession. Still, the valley elders were always curious about outsiders. Arlen was brought before the council. The council chamber was carved from dark stone. Large torches burned along the walls. Several elder orcs sat in a circle watching the human carefully. One elder finally spoke. Why does a human wander into our valley? Arlen answered calmly. In the towns beyond these mountains I heard a story about a valley where the cradles have gone silent. Elders did not deny its truth, had no reason to hide. Another elder leaned forward. Many have heard that story, none have solved it. Arlen nodded slowly. Humans have a strange habit. We enjoy trying things that others believe are impossible. Quiet murmur moved through the council. Orcs respected bravery, even foolish bravery. Then Arlen asked a simple question: who is the strongest woman in your tribe? The answer came immediately. Old, she remained respected. Old, she still carried the presence of a warrior. Grusha was called to the council. Hall she entered with steady, confident steps. Her eyes quickly studied the human soul. This is the traveler. Arlen bowed slightly. And you must be Grasha. The hunter. Grasha gave a short laugh. That name has followed me for many winters. Sarlan spoke carefully. The elders say the valley has grown old. The healers say you are too old to bring life. Grasha crossed her arms. That is what they tell me every year. Alan smiled calmly. Humans have another habit. We question limits. Elders leaned forward with interest. Narrowed her eyes. You speak boldly for such a small creature. Alan shrugged lightly. Sometimes boldness is necessary. Grasha looked at him for a long moment, then she laughed loudly. Well, little wanderer, let us test this stubborn human belief of yours. The elders allowed the attempt not because they truly believed it would succeed, but because hope had become rare in Karam Valley. That night the village fires burned bright. Orcs whispered quietly about the strange traveler. Some laughed, some doubted, but many secretly hoped. The moon rose high above the mountains. The valley slowly slept. Morning arrived with pale sunlight spreading across the stone houses. At first, the day began. Normally farmers prepared their tools. Hunters checked their spears. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Then suddenly a healer ran through the village, shouting. Her voice echoed through every street. Grasha carries life. For a moment no one moved. Then disbelief exploded into chaos. Orcs rushed toward Grasha home. The healer stood outside with shocked expressions. Is true life grows within her. The entire valley erupted with noise. Warriors shouted in celebration. Old elders raised their hands toward the sky. Hope returned in a single morning. Grasha stepped outside. Slowly her face showed surprise, but also pride. Arlen stood nearby, watching calmly. One of the elders approached him. Did you truly expect this? Arlen gave a small smile. Humans always expect possibilities. Sometimes that is enough. The months that followed changed the entire Valegrasar. Belly slowly grew. Their silent cradle house was repaired. New wooden toys were carved. Bright charms were hung from the roof. Again, for the first time in many years, laughter returned when the child was finally born. The entire tribe gathered outside the healer house. The newborn cried loudly, strong and healthy. The sound echoed against the mountains. Many orcs wept openly, but the greatest surprise came later. In the following seasons, more children were born. In the valley, families that had lost hope suddenly welcomed new life. Even the healers could not explain it. Perhaps the valley had never truly been cursed. Perhaps the tribe had simply forgotten how powerful hope could be. Years later, travelers passing through the mountains heard the same story. The story of the night a wandering human changed the fate of an entire tribe. The story of an old orc warrior who refused to accept that her time had ended, and every storyteller ended the tale with the same words: never underestimate human stubbornness. Never tell an orc warrior that life has finished with her. Yet